Welcome in. Hey Lexi, welcome in. Happy Wednesday. Hopefully you're having a good night. We are going to be answering yes/no questions with the rods tonight since I'm on camera. So go ahead and just drop your yes/no questions in the chat for me. We'll get started in just a minute. All right, this is for Alessandra. Does Esteban have genuine interest in pursuing me? Does Esteban have genuine interest in pursuing Alessandra? I'm getting a no, Alessandra, for that question. Lexi, is Ryan starting to feel deeper feelings for me? Yes. Margaret, is Debbie's wife laughing at TJ because he lost his wife and business? I don't really understand that question, but I'm getting a no for that one. Cherry Blossom, will I meet true love soulmate this year? Yes. Is Shavana in the transformation of manifesting and attracting what she desires? Hold on 1 second, guys. Sorry. My back is hurting. All right. Is Shavana in the transformation of manifesting and attracting what she desires? Yes. Will everything be fine for Sienna this month? You're welcome, Cherry Blossom. I'm getting a no for Sienna. Margaret, I believe your question was a no. When the rods move away from each other, it's a no for me. When they cross, it's a yes. You're welcome, Cherry Blossom. Will Norzad contact Afsane? Will Norzad contact Afsane, please? That is most likely yes. Afsane, but the rods weren't crossing exactly, so I feel like I can say most likely that this person will contact you. Most likely. I don't feel confident in a yes. Like 100%. Yvette, you can ask. We have not closed the list yet. I'll be answering yes, no's in just a second, guys. In just a minute. All right, Sienna, you're welcome. Lexi, I answered your question. I already answered that question. Scroll back. Hey, Bake, welcome in. You're welcome, Afsane. All about me, and I am doing well. I haven't seen you in a minute. How are you? All right, this is for Yvette Phillips. Does Virgo really want Yvette? Does Virgo really want Yvette? Does the Virgo really want Yvette, please? I'm getting a yes. Did Juan knock Brittany up? Oh. Did Juan knock Brittany up? That's looking like a no for me, Brittany. We'll see Robert. Oh no, well, All About Me and see Robert tomorrow. Well, All About Me and see Robert tomorrow. Looking like a yes. Linda, does Valerian want to reconcile? That is a no for me, Linda. You're welcome, Lexi. We have about 5 minutes left. You're welcome. You're welcome, everyone. No, I mean, what I like the best just for organization, Lexi, is YouTube when I'm not on camera, because I stream from something called StreamYard and that helps me stay very organized. The only thing about TikTok lives that aren't great is that the chat can go by so fast sometimes. Like, there's been a few times where I've had like 70 or 80 people in there at once and I can't even read the questions fast enough, and so that's kind of crazy. Um, I also, since I know that I'm more likely to get donations over here on YouTube, so I tend to prioritize YouTube over TikTok. But depending on my schedule and depending on how things go, my effort is to go live on both every day that I go live. It doesn't always work out that way. Like, for example, this weekend, my husband had a 4-day weekend. Hey, IJ. And I monitor, like, I mirror my phone because, like, when I'm on camera, my phone is my camera. So I'll use my TV in my living room to like mirror my phone so I can see, where I'm placing the cards, making sure that everything's on screen. And I usually will do that if I'm on camera, which I'm on camera over on TikTok. So since my husband was home and he uses the TV, I was like, no. So that's kind of a loaded question. It's kind of hard to say, do I like one or the other better? I think they both have something to offer and bring something to the table for sure. Um, but my overall preference is streaming through StreamYard, which unfortunately is not compatible with TikTok. Because if I was able to stream through StreamYard on TikTok, I could definitely keep all of the questions in an organized way and like save them. And even if the chat was, speeding really fast on the screen, I wouldn't lose the questions that people are asking me. So that's kind of tough. But no, I mean, I've gotten donations over there too, and I've been building my following, and so it's important, I think, to still go live over there as well. So it really just depends on my day, to be honest, like what I'm going to be doing and where I'm going to be at. All right, so this is for XXL. XXL says, does C have feelings towards me? Does C have feelings towards me? Does C have feelings towards XXL, please? Yeah, I think feelings are developing their XXL. IJ, you should be first on my list. If someone else donated before you, I'll let you know. But I'll be with you in just a second. Daisha, did I make the right decision to walk away from Robert the Gemini? Yes, that was a fast yes. Yeah, but Lexi, thank you for the question. That was cool. Serena, is N looking for a relationship with me? I'm getting a yes on that question for Serena. Hey Jazz, welcome in. Is Leo trying to break things off with a Jazz? Hmm. Okay, so this is what's weird. Like this, but they don't cross and they don't separate. That's a maybe. But if you notice the way they were moving, they were kind of doing that, but then also a little bit moving away from each other. So I'm gonna say not, because that's a no. But there may be like a transitional period that this Leo person's going through right now where they maybe are considering it, but maybe leaning more towards no, not breaking things off. All right, does JP think of Pure Heart? Yes. Is Maru reaching out to Joanna soon? Yes. Rising, oh my gosh, hello, how are you? Oh my gosh, it's been forever since I've seen you too. Is Ray dealing with another woman? Yes, interesting, okay. Daisha, you're welcome. Ajaz, you donated. Okay, cool. I'll update the list in just a second. You're very welcome, everyone. Is anyone else having an issue with the sound? Let me know. I'm doing well, really good over here. As to quote All About Maine, life is lifing. All right, that is gonna have to be it. Okay, yeah, if you guys are having issue hearing me, please let me know. Let's update the donation list really quickly. Rising, are you doing well? Good. You're very welcome. Oh, that's awesome, Rising. Just so you know, I'm running a 20% off sale through July 4th for private readings. So if that is something you're interested in, you want a little more affordable, I'm doing a holiday sale. So if you click the link in the pinned comment, it brings you to my link tree. And there's like a section that says book a private reading. That brings you to a booking page. And you'll see special pricing for it starts tomorrow. So tomorrow through July 4th if you schedule with me. So just want to throw that out there. No rush. If you're not interested right away, that's totally cool, but I just wanted to tell you. Okay, Jazz, that sounds good. Perfect. Maya, I'm so sorry I missed the free list, girl. We finished about 3 minutes ago. But yes, no questions are $5. They're pretty cheap. So if you still want your question answered, let me know. All right, so first on our list is IJ for an in-depth reading. IJ, let me know what your question is and we'll get started. You had interesting experiences after me. You were working and smelled a strong scent of perfume and no one was around. That happens to me, IJ. Is this the first time you've ever experienced that before? This happens to me quite a bit, actually. I'll have some stories to share about that later on, but this is like the coolest phenomenon when that happens, I've got to say. And like sometimes my husband will smell it too, not always, but I'm like, do you smell that? And he's like, yeah, is that cigarette smoke? And I'm like, that's crazy, you smelling the same thing I'm smelling. So it has happened to you before. You may have something called clair, which is clear seeing. Or sorry, clear seeing, what the heck am I saying? Clear smelling. Where you can perceive scents that aren't actually there. Very, very intuitive stuff. It's very cool. Okay, who was this from? I will say that my experience with the scents are usually people who are in the spiritual realm. Not always, but they are most of the time. Or they're either spirit that are making their way to earth, or they're someone who's passed on, but they're basically something going on like the spiritual realm. However, there has been circumstances where you can suddenly smell something that smells like someone who's still earthside. So let's look into it. Who was this from, please? Who was this from? My cats are getting into some trouble tonight. Who was this from? Who was this from? I think I'm gonna pull some archetype cards as well, because those give me a little bit of insight on personality. Who is this from? Okay, I'm thinking that this is someone Earthside only because the themes that I have going on here feel very low vibrational. And those are usually things that people experience, for my knowledge and my understanding, that if they're in their human form. So feelings of needing to release burden. It could be someone who recently passed away, if you know of anyone who recently passed away, because the Ten of Swords in reverse makes me feel like maybe there was something heavy going on Earthside that they've released themselves from, but not necessarily. That's just kind of a message. We have the Nine of Swords here. This also indicates releasing anxiety. So this person's in the process of releasing burdens and releasing anxiety. This person is trying to come out of feelings of isolation. Maybe they've been putting themselves in a position where they just really haven't been socializing, and they've been doing a lot of focusing on themselves. Hey Husby, how are you? This person battles like uncertainty, indecision, constantly feeling like they're pulling from like one direction to the other, not really sure what to do. The Eight of Wands indicates some kind of stagnancy, so maybe your connection with this person hasn't really been moving forward. Let's get some archetype cards real quick. I think with the archetype cards, we might be able to pick up if this person is like a feminine person. I feel like it is though, because every single picture that I have here is of a woman, so I'm thinking it's a feminine energy. SB, how are you doing tonight? Who is this person? That would be interesting. Yeah, it feels feminine. Doing good, just a crazy busy day. Oh, I've been taking it easy, girl. Did some laundry, slept in, went to the store, just chilling. Okay. Could this be N? Please show me a yes or a no. Could this be N? All right. So, more than anything, I think, IJ, you should focus on your intuition. Especially if there's themes surrounding maybe like floral notes, or depending on the type of perfume that you got, if there's themes that surround her, like, you know what's going to be like a crazy indication is like if you see her posting a picture and she's like, let's say it was like a sea breeze kind of smell, she posts a picture near the water, or if it was like a floral smell and you see her post a story with like, you know, she's like smelling flowers or something, or if it was like vanilla scent, then maybe you see her lighting a candle. I don't know, like, I think you need to pay attention to kind of the things that she's posting as well to kind of give yourself like validation. But I am getting a yes. We have the Six of Pentacles in reverse and the King of Cups. Not intentionally. I don't think this was an intentional, which is funny because I said flowers first. I said floral first. Um, I I I don't think it was like an intentional connection, but I think that maybe you were crossing her mind in that moment and she found a way to connect with you, like, what's the word? Like grounded, in a grounded way. Um, More qualities about this person is that they serve as a channel for spiritual energy. They have romantic charm and romantic connection to you. They have great intuition. They seek truth over anything else. So maybe like justice is important to this person. Um, they're a really great storyteller, really great communicator. They may even be like a writer of some sort in addition to that. And it's saying that this person is very determined, ability to see things with an open heart and an open mind, and that they don't ever claim to be the victim because there's the light attribute. So she doesn't allow herself to be victimized. She doesn't victimize other people. She stands strong in her power. So if these are also themes that resonate with N, then I would say you might be onto something. You said that's so cool because it was after kind of interesting work call. Oh, really? That's accurate for her. That's good then. I like that. I think that's great. Like I was saying, is that I feel like it's someone earthbound just because of the themes up here are very like human like. Um, but it's also good because it indicates releasing burdens, releasing anxiety, trying to expand out of a place of isolation. So, especially if she's been like in kind of a hermit mode lately, um, maybe she's recently started socializing or you really haven't seen her socializing too much lately, it would be like a recent thing because the Five of Pentacles makes me feel like she's been spending a lot of time alone, like she's been spending a lot of time on her own, working on herself, you know, potentially journaling, that kind of thing, just kind of taking pause with the Eight of Wands in reverse. But yeah, I with the Six of Pentacles in reverse, it doesn't make me feel like this was an intentional connection to you. You maybe crossed her mind, and I think that I think it's more, this speaks more to your strengths. I think this speaks more to your abilities to be more sensitive and more intuitive, and like maybe making that connection to her. So moving forward, as a person who really leans into intuition, the things that I see, hear, feel, all of that, I pay attention to patterns as well. So if I were you, I would say, okay, my initial intuitive feeling was that it was N. This is what happened. So that way, when it happens again, you'll be like, okay, I think that's N thinking of me or trying to communicate. And then when it happens again, you're like, okay, this is the third time that's happened. I felt like it was her. And you'll start to notice like a pattern. So you'll know, now you'll associate that scent with her specifically. Does that make sense? So I think it speaks more to your abilities. It speaks more to what you have been able to do. Um, and maybe some strengths that you are getting through your own intuition and your own divine knowing. But I still think that's really cool. So, IJ, is there anything else you would like to ask, talk about before we move on to the next person? Okay, you're welcome, IJ. Perfect. So, next up on our Ajaz. IJ, I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. All right, what is the energy between, you're welcome, IJ. What's the energy between you and Leo right now if we're going our separate ways? Oh no. Can she trust her? Can she trust her? She sent messages. She wants to know if she can trust her. Please show me a yes or a no. Can she trust her? What is the energy between them? Are they going their separate ways? Are they going their separate ways? Ajaz, I've gotta say, how do I put this? I think you should stay on Leo's good side. I don't think this person is outright advantageous. I don't think they're the type of person who would like expose you, if that makes sense. But I feel like if there's bad blood, that they could potentially be that type of person because I have the Seven of Swords. So I don't think that there's intentions to outright expose your messages that you've sent that were private and confidential. I don't necessarily think that you have, yeah, petty, that's probably a good word. It's like I don't think she has plans to do this. I don't, but I feel like it's in her nature to potentially be that kind of person if there was bad blood between the two of you. So I almost want to say, like, just don't piss her off, I guess, or like, I don't know. I mean, it's kind of like a sticky situation because I feel like between the two of you, there's room for growth. I feel like there was, or there is, however you want to word it, however things are going right now, there was or is a lot of potential here for this connection to move forward. Um, the energy feels like you guys, it's Page of Swords in reverse. So if it was upright, it would make me feel like you guys are interested in continuing to get to know about each other. You would want to ask questions, you'd want to get to know them. Um, the Page of Swords a lot of times reminds me of the energy when you first meet someone and you're like, oh, well, like, what kind of music do you like? And, like, you know, what did you study? Do you have any majors? Do you have any hobbies? Like, that kind of energy when it's upright. That's what it makes me feel like. But it's in reverse. So I don't know if maybe the energy is of disinterest, like, not really curious anymore, or maybe feeling like that you guys know enough about each other, therefore there's no more curiosity. Um, or maybe you guys have explored, like, you guys have explored each other in a lot of different ways, and therefore that curiosity just doesn't linger anymore. Um, these cards aren't necessarily bad. It's really the Seven of Swords that's gotten me a little bit uncomfortable. So for you, Jazz, you're in a position where you're just not interested. That might be why the Page of Swords is in reverse. Um, Ten of Swords also indicates like letting go, moving on. Seven of Wands, rising above, like just trying to not let someone disturb your peace. Again, these cards aren't necessarily bad, but when you pair it with this card, this is like sneaky, like you said, petty energy. That's what's got me a little nervous. You know, it's almost like this connection had a lot of potential or a lot of opportunity for potential, and then it kind of just went south. So I guess like my advice when you're dealing with someone like this is just try to be like, end this as amicably as you possibly can. Like, just I don't want to say don't be yourself. I don't want to say don't stand up for yourself, but I feel like you just can't trust what she's gonna do. I don't think she has plans to. I really don't. I don't think she has plans to do anything sketchy like that. But I don't know. I just wouldn't want to get on this person's bad side because I feel like you're dealing with someone who could potentially be a little bit immature, you know? And I think what I want to finish this with is saying to you that she is more interested in you than maybe you are interested in her. Okay? Or that maybe she has more stock or more invested in this than you do. And I think it's more, not that she's completely opposed to the idea of breaking things off with you, but I do think if you were to put it on a scale, that she leans heavier in interest than you do. And I kind of feel that because of the way the rods were going when you asked the question if she's like pulling away from you, or I can't remember what your question was, but it was something like, is she pulling away from you, or is she walking away from the connection, or something like that. And it felt like no, but it also felt like that may be something that she's considering at some point. So keeping in mind that, I feel like you just got to be careful. Your face isn't any of those spicy things you sent her, just in case. Okay, well, that's good. That's good. I still feel like everyone should keep things private, you know? People make decisions to do things. It's not always like the smartest thing or whatever, but you're just swept up in the moment, and I feel like everyone has been there before. Um, and I would hope that she wouldn't betray your confidence like that, but I do feel like that there's an aspect to her personality that could do that actually. I would say just don't rock the boat. Like, just try to, yeah, end this as amicably as possible. Yeah, I mean, I'd hope not. I'd hope not. I just feel like there's this, like, little part characteristic. There's, like, a little part of her personality. It could be something in her chart, you know, like her astrological chart, where, like, she may have, like, a little revenge placement or something like that if someone screws her over. Yeah, just do your best to, like, you gotta do what you gotta do, but if you can stay on decent terms with her, like, end it as, like, politely and amicably as possible, where maybe you can even almost make her feel like it's her idea. I think that would be much better. Basically, just don't piss her off. I'm kidding. Unfortunately. Did you want to add on for anything else, or is that answering your question? Yeah, that would be good. Yeah, play the friendship card with her. I got it. Thanks, Jazz. Let me know whenever you're ready for your next question. What made Dom so curious to call you and ask you about the Leo you're talking to? You haven't heard from her in months? Did she ask about the Leo specifically? Or did she just like ask if you're talking to someone? Um, there's probably like a feeling of jealousy here. Ace of Cups, Six of Cups, reconciliation, looking for an excuse to communicate with you, to reunite with you again. Um, I think that, especially with that Six of Cups card, it makes me feel like she may have been, how do I say this? Like looking for just an opportunity to communicate with you and maybe felt like that was her in. I do know people who you lose contact with for a little while. Hey Kaiser, thank you so much. I am not doing no tonight, but I am doing yes no if you donate. Lost my train of thought. If you lose contact with someone for a couple months, a lot of times they're looking for an opportunity to come back in. So it might be reacting to a story. It might be just making it seem like they're trying to catch up. But I feel like this was her in. This was her in. Like this was her way to see what's going on. There could have been a little bit of jealousy there, as I mentioned, because the Ace of Cups was in reverse, which makes me feel like there was like unrequited affection or unrequited feelings. I don't think that she particularly likes to see you with someone else or know if you're with someone else. That probably doesn't make her feel very good. Let's see. You said you posted in your close friends of Leo in your date, and then asked about the person I'm talking to. Okay, that makes sense actually. That lines up with what I'm saying. I feel like maybe she felt like there was an imbalance here, looking for a way to kind of get things, I guess, progressing with you again or moving with you again. The Hanged Man talks about stagnancy, but when it's in reverse, it's like, let's try to remove a block. That makes sense, Ajaz, but what I was going to tell you was I feel like Dom is the kind of energy that wants to have access to you and not necessarily do anything about it. What I will say is that when I'm reading Dom's energy, a lot of times I am being shown in my mind's eye a specific relationship that I had, and the energy feels very similar. And it comes up every time I read on Dom. Like, it makes me feel like that this person likes having access to you, but they're not like a fighter. They're not gonna like fight for you. And if someone else comes in that is better for you, they're not gonna fight for you. They're not gonna stand in the way of that, but they will make it seem like, oh, well, you know, I always cared about you. Oh, well, you know, like, you meant something to me, and I'm disappointed that you're talking to someone new. But, like, they're not going to stand in your way, and they never really made an effort to show you that they really wanted you or really wanted to be with you. And what that boils down to is, I want to have access to you. I'm not mad you're talking to someone. I'm mad that now this person's going to get in the way of me being able to communicate with you. And that's like a lot of Dom's energy. And so you're looking for someone to fight for you. You're looking for her to tell you she likes you, tell you she wants to be with you. What's crazy about this Dom situation is that I bet you anything, if you entered into a real relationship, something that was of value, something that meant something to you, because you're no longer available, then Dom is going to use that as an opportunity to tell you all the things that she supposedly feels for you, because you're no longer accessible. It's no longer scary to admit your feelings. When people are emotionally unavailable like this, it's intentional, it's self-sabotage. They like when people are not, it's weird. It's like they want to have access to you, but they don't want you to be emotionally available to them. Does that make sense? Like, they want to be able to talk to you, spend time with you, maybe sleep with you, but they don't necessarily want you to be emotionally attached to them, because then that means that they have responsibilities to live up to. And when people are unavailable, which I think is why a lot of people go for people who are in relationships, that's why home wreckers exist. I think people go for people who are in relationships because there's an element of safety with that. There's an element of safety. There's an element of, okay, well, they're involved with someone else, or they're married to someone else, or they're in a relationship with someone else. So I can only get but so hurt. And that's emotionally detached. Um, so what I would say to you, Jazz, is I feel like if there's anything you've ever wanted Dom to say, you probably won't hear it unless or until you enter into a real relationship, when it doesn't really matter to you anymore what Dom has to say. That's the kind of person that I feel like this person is. Because then she'll tell you, oh, well, she cared about you, or that she thought she was falling in love with you, or whatever it is. But that's only because she knows that you aren't an option anymore, and she feels safe to do those things. Um, it's kind of a mind fuck, to be honest. But I think that, to answer your question, she was looking for an opportunity to communicate with you. She was feeling a little jealous. She was feeling disappointed. She was feeling like, who's this person on this date? That did not make her happy. Okay, Nine of Cups in reverse means I'm not happy. My wish is not fulfilled. I'm upset. I'm not happy. And the Page of Swords in reverse again, meaning lack of information, not having a lot of information, trying to seek out information that you don't have. Because the Page of Swords always talks about curiosity. It speaks to learning about someone or gaining intel. Oh, okay. Well, there you go. So that makes it even more complicated. So you're probably sitting there thinking, well, why does. Oh no, lovely. Wait, why are you timed out? What happened? What did you say? It says you were timed out for 5 seconds. What the heck? What is Nightbot doing? Lovely, if you're still in here, let me know. I don't know what the heck is going on. Message me on Instagram if you can't talk in the chat. That's so weird. I've never seen that before. Oh, you know what I think it was, Lovely? Okay, so when you said, hey girl, sent for an in-depth and skip, I think what it was is Nightbot thought you were saying to me I was skipped, meaning like you skipped my turn or something, and it's trying to like control that, okay? So ignore that. I see that you said you sent for an in and a skip. So what I'm gonna do is bump you up on the list. Lovely, you'll be next. I'm finishing up with Ajaz right now, and you'll be next. So I know that you paid to skip. Let's see. I'm sorry that Nightbot is bugging right now. We'll put pay to skip here, and then SB will be after that. So, lovely, just ignore what Nightbot is doing right now. I don't even know, like, how to override anything that they're saying. But what I want you to do is message me on. Oh, yep, it was the skip. It was the skip. Okay, we'll talk on Instagram, but I got you. Don't worry, I got you, girl. You're welcome, Kaiser. If you send a donation, oh, it looks like I got a donation from Kaiser too. Let me update the list. Ajaz, I have not forgotten about you. Give me like 2 seconds while I work this out here. Okay, that is the list that we've got going right now. Lily paid to skip, so we are bumping her up first. Then is going to be SB, and then is going to be Kaiser after that. So you said she has a girlfriend too. You wonder if you kissed her, um, what will her reaction be? Oh, you wonder if you kissed Dom, what would her reaction be? I feel like you're in a lose-lose situation with Dom, to be honest, Ajaz, because I feel like by kissing her, you're gonna validate her, and I don't think that she needs to be validated. I think that might actually boost her ego and push you away from her even more. And then I think also not doing anything is the other side of the lose of that situation, because she's not fighting for you. So if you're not fighting for her and she's not fighting for you, then neither of you are really getting what you want out of this. I think you're just dealing with a very frustratingly complex person who you might have to get to the point where you realize this person's never going to give you what you want. This person's never going to be what you want, never going to give you what you want. Is not going to live up to the expectation. And what I don't want is for you, Ajaz, to continually feel as if you are not enough, or you're not, hey Jocelyn, how are you? Or that you're not enough for her specifically. And I don't want you to waste your time with it either. I think that everyone deserves another chance. I always feel like people deserve second chances, maybe even third chances, but I think after that, it's like, well, now I'm being dumb because now I'm just opening myself up to whatever BS is coming my way from this situation. And, I feel like you've given her a lot of chances. I feel like you've let her show you who she is. And especially Ajaz, if she's going to still be, I think you said she's in a relationship with someone, or she's got a girlfriend or something. So with that being said, I think just let her do her thing, girl. Like, let her be in this relationship, let her experience that, let her go through that. I think it's very complicated, but I also feel like it's very uncomplicated to kind of remove yourself from that equation. I am in agreement with you that I wish you didn't answer the phone call, because, like, and if you did, you should have just told her it's not her business or something. I don't feel like she should be validated. I think that you don't owe her an explanation, you don't owe her anything. So it's kind of crazy to me that she felt like entitled enough, or like that it was her place to even question you at all, or even ask you who this person was. That's crazy to me. I feel like that's not her business, personally. Um, so Ajaz, yeah, that is what I've got for you, girl. I agree. Thank you so much, Nina. You're welcome, Ajaz. It was so nice talking to you. Thank you for stopping in. SB, change your question. SB, change your question. What's coming towards you? Okay, got it. So SB, we will not do the question that you put in the donation. We'll do the question that you sent to me on Instagram, okay? All right. Okay, give me 1 second, guys. I don't know if you can hear that, but my cat's getting into trouble. Back it up. Leave things alone that are not yours. They're in one of these moods tonight. Okay. So next up we have Lovely. Lovely, hopefully you can talk in the chat again soon. All right, so the first thing that's coming through, Lovely, is that I'm getting that he's getting visions of a future, visions for what he wants his life to look like. The Ten of Pentacles being like the center of the reading is making me feel like there's like some kind of signaling or some kind of messages or visions or something like that that is coming towards him and making him kind of reevaluate, I suppose, maybe what he wants, what he's looking for. I truly believe that he is looking for just this effortless, easy connection and relationship, one that's built on trust and evolvement. The Empress is like making me feel like this is his dream woman. We tapped into the divine feminine a little bit before, and I think that's coming through here again. I think he wants kids. If he doesn't already have kids, he wants kids. If he doesn't, or if he does, he wants more with someone. Because I feel like he hasn't really gotten to experience that very healthy relationship where you're with someone, and whether you're married or not, it doesn't matter for him. I think he would like that ultimately, 10 of Pentacles, but I think for him it's more about like the healthiness of the relationship, the healthiness of the connection as well. I feel like he doesn't quite feel like a king yet, I gotta be honest, with the King of Pentacles in reverse. Yes, he does want kids. Okay. So I was going to say, it's almost like he might be picturing you pregnant, to be honest. Like, maybe that's where we're going with this. The Knight of Pentacles in reverse makes me feel like he wants to work towards stability. He wants to work towards being the best, but he doesn't currently view himself as being the best version of himself yet. He's coming through as the Page of Pentacles, meaning that he's showing me that he has conquered the Page, that he's working towards the Knight, meaning that he is evolving, he is growing, but he still feels like he has a lot left to learn. The Page of Pentacles, very balanced, as you can see. I think this is called like the tree and yoga pose or something like that. But it's making me feel like he feels very good about the growth that he has had so far. He's in a position where he wants to see like what the next steps are going to be, but for whatever reason I'm hearing conquer. Like I feel like he has conquered this growth that he needed to have. So it's almost like he's in this transitional period into a knight before he becomes a king. He would agree probably that he's definitely learned a lot, but he might be in like this transitional period where he still feels like there's, you know, room to go. And it doesn't mean that he has to consider himself a king before he, you know, communicates with you again. I just feel like he at least wants to feel like he has done enough work and has proven enough to himself that you would be impressed by him, if that makes sense. Like he wants to know for a fact that there are things that he can come to you and say, you know, I've done this, I've done that. Like kind of give you like a list of things, whether it's about his emotional growth or his physical, like his like status, you know, maybe he wants you to know, like, I don't know, he just wants to feel like he's come a long way before I think he engages with you again. I think he wants to feel like he has something to quote unquote show for it. That's what it feels like to me. But I do feel like these meditations are bringing in like visions, and they're bringing in recognition in areas where he would need to or like to evolve. I think there's a lot of weight that he has carried himself, 10 of Wands. There's a lot of things in life that he has blamed himself for, or maybe even felt responsible for. Judgment and Two of Swords. That he is trying to heal and move on from. Whenever I see the Judgment card, it reminds me of like the Red Cross, because in the Rider-Waite Tarot there's a Red Cross flag, and so it reminds me of healing, it reminds me of growing, and it reminds me of like with these two cards together that he's saying, I don't really know what the future holds, I don't feel necessarily certain, but I'm just trying to follow my instinct, I'm trying to follow my gut. So with these meditations, Lovely, you might be anchoring him a little bit more, making him feel a little bit more safe to explore the unknown, whereas before he felt almost repelled or he resisted an uncertainty. Maybe now he's trying to have more faith. So the meditations might be like anchoring him and making him feel a little bit more safe to venture out a little further than maybe what he originally would do. I feel like there is this release of this responsibility or obligation that he's been carrying with him. This could be, you know, childhood conditioning. This could be things that people told him when he was younger, like, it's your fault, like, why did you do this? You shouldn't have done that. And these are like developmental like stages of his life where he was being blamed for something that was not either his fault or really wasn't as big of a deal as people were making it out to be, and he's been carrying that with him. So there's definitely like inner healing, maybe removing certain narratives that he has had surrounding how he views himself and trying to like revamp that, or revise, because that's been like a key word in the channel readings we've been doing. um, I'm seeing here you're messaging me. Let me see what you're saying. Yeah, I think he is inspired by you, Eliana. I've never really felt like he's ever been intimidated by you. I think that's something that I have expressed before, but he's definitely been inspired by the things that you do, almost like he wants to mimic them. I feel like he admires you a lot. Maybe he doesn't say it because the Six of Wands is in reverse, and maybe you don't know it, but I think internally he does admire you and admire your strength and like in a way maybe look up to you. Oh, interesting. Oh, okay, okay. So what I'm getting from that, Eliana, is that he somehow blames himself for that relationship. Like he's putting it on himself. I think even though logically he knows that it's not his fault what happened, I think he somehow has flipped this on to himself. Like he's somehow saying like, if I was enough, she wouldn't have done this. Like if I was better or I was this or that. So he's somehow finding a way to like shift blame onto himself, even though this literally had nothing to do with him. This had everything to do with the fact that she entered into a relationship with him unhealed, and clearly still had some unfinished business. But somehow, for whatever reason, even though he knows, like, logically, realistically, practically, like, this is not on me, he's still carrying the weight of that. And again, that could stem from childhood because, you know, let's just put it this way. Let me give an example. Let's just say we have emotionally unregulated parents, okay? And you do something that any kid would do, but you do something, and this inconveniences the parent, then it would be like, oh, like, look at what you just did. Now you're making me angry. Basically telling the child that something that they did that was completely innocent and completely on accident is their fault for how the parent is responding. When a parent says, look at what you did, this is your fault, you're making me this way, you're making me feel this way. And then a parent carries that or a kid carries that responsibility of that guilt. So there could have been also some kind of connection between, his last relationship and also what he experienced as a child. And there could have been some kind of like brain chemistry there, that there was like a line or a point of connection for him, where Jay and Venus, hey there, we're not doing free reads right now, we're just doing donations. But that could have like connected for him. Okay, like, something, I was innocent in this, but somehow it has to be my fault. You know what I mean? Because that's how he was conditioned, as a kid. Again, this is just an example. I don't know if this is what's happened, but that's what it's feeling like to me. Like, that's the energy. And so with these meditations that are going on, he is in a place where he's saying, you know what, I'm realizing like what actually is my fault, what is my guilt to carry, and what's not. And I think that through this meditation healing, he is working through that stuff. And I think that's why he feels like I've conquered the page. Like I'm not a child anymore. I realize I'm an adult. I understand that comes with responsibilities. Let me move through this now. So yeah, and I mean, also maybe even like some manifestation strengths as well, because the magician is here, and so maybe he's feeling maybe more like power within himself. Maybe he's feeling more capable. Maybe shifting from a victim mindset to a in control mindset as well. Oh my gosh, you did. Oh, thank you. Thank you for that confirmation. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Oh my gosh, I love that so much. You're welcome. That's so important. I think you're doing good work, lovely. I think keep it up, girl. I think this is incredible. I love to see it. I love to feel it. Um, I whatever's meant to be will be, but I would love to see you guys come back together after like this time apart and like really evolving and just kind of seeing where that takes you. Because you can't really deny the connection that you guys had, and again, que sera sera, but I feel like how special would that be, to say someone grew for me, someone evolved for me, someone recognized the error of their ways and decided that I was worth growing and changing for. I think how romantic. So of course I'm over here like rooting for that. You're welcome. I hope you have a good night. Whoa. Sorry guys. I got a little crazy there. Alright, so looks like we're finishing up with Lovely. Next we have SB. So SB, if you're in here, feel free to let me know. We're gonna do the question you put on Instagram. All right, SB, this is for you, friend. We are shuffling for you. Hey, Kaiser. Oh, that sounds good. You are next on our list, and unless someone takes to skip the line, we are working on SB, and then you are next, Kaiser. And I should still have your questions from before. All right. Let's see. Okay, that's fine, Kaiser. So you just come back and listen whenever you're ready, okay? Whoa. That's interesting. You have the same first card that Lovely had in the last reading. Alright, so I feel like I'm getting a story where... Sorry, I pulled a lot of cards for you. I was only going to pull 10, but these 3 came out together. I feel like I'm getting a story. So let's talk about that. I feel like what I'm seeing is almost like an evolvement of your love life, okay? Someone who you thought was for you, someone who, you know, you thought you'd build a life with, someone that didn't end up living up to maybe what you thought they were going to be or what you thought they were going to do. This could be like one of the early relationships that you had, the father of your child, something like that. But basically, it's like someone didn't live up to those expectations. Like you saw that, like you could have it all, that this could be something, but it unfortunately didn't work out this way. And you never really gave up hope. You never really let the idea of what could happen for you and what could be for you, you didn't let it go. Maybe sometimes it wasn't always the priority, but you still had the faith, you still had the belief, and that there were some connections you made that were out of this world, but they took a long time to get off the ground if they ever did. Sorry, my voice. I feel like you're in a position where you're very intuitive. I think you kind of know how something's going to go before it even happens. So I think when things, maybe it's through experience or just intuition, but I feel like you're never really surprised. I think you're always very hopeful, but I think that if something goes a certain way, it's almost like you kind of knew. Like you almost got like a preview through your intuition of what was going to happen. I think through this process, there's been a lot of letting go. There's been a lot of moving on, even on connections that maybe you never really wanted that to happen. You felt like you were the one that had to walk away. So it was regretful, but at the same time, it was necessary. It was not necessarily anything that you did, but they forced your hand into having to walk away. And so you might consider yourself the one that always breaks up with everyone else. But that's just because they put you in a position where you really had no choice. It wasn't necessarily what you wanted to do. You just felt like you needed to do it. And maybe a lot of times you felt like your hands were tied and you felt like maybe it was hard, like it was going to be hard to find this thing you were looking for. But I gotta tell you, we have the King of Swords. We're talking air energy, so it could be Gemini, Libra, Aquarius placements. Doesn't necessarily have to be, but I like to show you. So let's put these in a more clear view. What's coming for you in love? You feel finally you met your king. Okay? Maybe you guys don't like have the same interests or hobbies or taste in music or whatever. Not everything's like matchy, clicky. But you're like, you know what? Everything this person has to bring to the table is incredible. And they're meeting me at my maturity level. They're meeting me aware of what I can offer, they can offer me right back. Okay? So I feel like this is someone who's very, very smart. Okay, you've got like this mental. This person could be just very well versed, well cultured, know a lot about everything. But what do you leave it alone, buddy? Go. My cat's like trying to mess with all my go lay down. All my tarot cards. Um, Someone who's like well versed, maybe they know a lot of languages. This person's just very, very smart, very, very intelligent. To the point of maybe which will be kind of refreshing. I don't know. I like smarter than me in certain areas. I like knowing a lot with a Gemini stellium. I like having like useless information that I know. But there's nothing more attractive to me than like asking my husband something that I don't know the answer to, and he's like, "Oh yeah," and then he'll like explain it to me, and I'm like, "You really know things, don't you?" Like I love that. And I kind of feel like that's what this person is bringing to the table for USB. I feel like he's like so he picks up on things so fast mentally. He might be really good with like math, technology, like IT, inventing. I don't know, like that might be he might be really good at like investing potentially because he's really smart. But I just feel like this person's got like a great head on their shoulders and like has a lot of really great experience as well. Um, and I feel like this person admires you, appreciates you for everything that you are, loves you from head to toe. And I think this is a person that's going to offer you marriage as well. I have the Two of Cups here, which indicates to me that there's like this fusion of energies between the two of you that are really, really compatible, like simpatico, like harmony. Maybe even feeling like you're coming back together after being away from each other for a long time, whether that's literally or spiritually. And I feel like you just feel very much like I am woman. Like, this is my man. He takes care of things that I don't really want to do. Just take care of everything else that's of interest to me. This could also mean like a biracial an interracial relationship, or that maybe this person is biracial potentially, because I don't know if I'm picking up on the difference in skin tone, so I'm feeling like there could be some cultural differences as well. You guys could come from like different backgrounds, something along those lines. But I do feel like it's coming for you, and it's marriage. I feel like this person's very serious about you and just worships you. Like this card with the Six of Wands makes me feel like he would like lick your toes or something, because he just like loves everything about you. Like he's just like obsessed. So yeah, that's what I have. Not sure if you're in here watching or not, but hopefully, if you're not, you come back, you enjoy your reading. So we are going to move on to our next person on the list. Kaiser. Kaiser, if you're here, please check in with me. Alright, since I don't know when Kaiser's gonna be in, I'm gonna try something. Let's see if it works. Alright, this is going to be Kaiser's reading. We'll put that there. Wait, it just got messed up. Oh no! Y'all are watching me make a fool out of myself right now. Let's see. Let's try that again. Alright, Kaiser, we're working on you now. What does Pisces want you to do about her and the connection? Second question, what does she truly think and feel? What does Pisces want Kaiser to do about her? Interesting. What does Pisces want Kaiser to do about her? The energy of this reading for me makes me feel, Kaiser, that she wants you to kind of just like let her be. The reason I'm getting this is because we have separation, keep things the same, like let me be free, let's move slow. I'm having like mental like anguish or uncertainty about this and inner conflict. There is a love here, but I'm not ready to give it. I need you to kind of go off and do your own thing and listen to your intuition about what I'm showing to you or my energy that I'm putting towards this. So with these energies, it's making me feel like she's saying like I kind of need things to just maybe be at my own pace. I think she's wanting you to know like let me do my own thing. I don't really feel like she necessarily wants to be pursued right now. I feel like this is what I want to say, Kaiser. I feel like there is affection for you and I feel like there is love for you here from her. Like I feel like she's saying I have love for him. She doesn't necessarily want to just like toss you aside, but the energy that I'm getting from her is like I need to kind of let me just do this for myself. So you know, you guys could be in contact with each other and be in communication with each other, but I feel like from her perspective she's in this mindset of like let me take the lead. I don't really want you to do anything about this connection. I don't really want you to, and it's hard. I hate doing these kinds of readings because I feel bad. Like, I don't want to be the one to break the news. I feel like she should be the one to tell you these things. But I feel like she's kind of like, I'm content. I'm content. Like, I don't think she's pulling for anything more. I don't think she's looking for necessarily anything more from you. So, the best thing that I could say to answer your question would be inaction. Like, don't pursue her more than maybe what she's pursuing you. Maybe let her take things at her own pace. Let her set the tone. Let her take the lead. Um, which may not feel natural to you. You know, you may be in a position where you feel like, you know, I have to be the person that takes the lead. Like, that feels natural to me. It feels natural to pursue someone. It feels natural for me to want to show my appreciation and my affection. And, you know, I really like this girl and I want to, like, spend more time with her. You know, you may feel like this just isn't right for you, to just kind of sit back and relax and let her do her thing. But that's what she's needing. And so I think that from your perspective, you might have to see how that resonates for you. If you're okay with that, is that something that you can deal with? Is that something that you feel like you're fine just kind of hanging out and whatever happens, happens? Or is that not good enough for you? Because she's not wrong and you're not wrong. However you feel and however she feels, you guys are both right to feel those things. We just have to see, my guidance to you is this good enough for you? Is just kind of sitting in the background, letting her set the tone and call the shots. Is that okay with you? And if it is okay with you, how long is that okay with you for? Is there going to come a time where you're like, no, I feel like I just need to move on? So, Kaiser, that is kind of what I'm picking up from her, from this connection. I just really feel like she wants you to conserve your energy that you have in pursuing her, and maybe kind of like back burner that for a little while. Um, I truly don't know like what these complications are for her and why she has so much inner conflict, but it's not the first time that I have seen this. I have definitely seen other connections that I've done readings for where the guy was just much more interested in pursuing a romantic connection than the girl was. So I don't want you to feel alone in this, and I don't want you to feel like it's abnormal or like it's something about you, because it's not. It just kind of means that you guys are not on the same wavelength at this time. And also that doesn't mean it can't change either. This is just where she's at right now. All right, let's take a look at your second question. What does she truly feel and think of you? All right. What does she truly, thank you for the hearts. What does she truly think and feel for Kaiser? What does she truly think and feel? She feels like you are a very healthy person. And when I say healthy, it can be many different ways. It can be physically fit. It can mean healthy, like you consume healthy things, like you watch things that are good for you and that grow your mind, and you eat healthy. But the first impression I got is that you were just a very non toxic person. Like you are just a very good person, a very healthy person. Um, the reason I'm getting that is because the devil is in reverse. And so I feel like she looks at you as someone who truly just has the best heart and has the best, like you're just very pure and good and well meaning and well intentioned. She feels like you're very fair and just and just genuinely like you have such a good heart. And I'm almost picking up on this as like a comparison thing. So we might be even tapping into a little bit why she has all this inner conflict in the last reading. Maybe she doesn't feel like she's as good as you are. Um, and I feel like she looks at you as someone that she really could find comfort in. Um, that when things are going well between the two of you, you know, there's a lot of harmony. I think that she views you as someone who wants a real solid, long lasting relationship. You're looking for a life partner. You are someone who's not afraid to improve themselves or make changes where necessary. You are a free spirit, you very much march to the beat of your own drum. You know how to have fun, you know how to be spontaneous, you are tapped into your intuition. Um, you know what you want, you know what you're going for, you know what you're after. And I think she likes the peace that you bring as a person. She can tell that you are not like angry, you're very even tempered, um, you're very peaceful, and you maybe don't let a lot get to you, even though maybe you should. And when I say should, meaning like in other circumstances, other people might let these things bother them, but you don't. Um, in terms of how she feels about you, I am getting more of a friendship vibe. It's not platonic, okay? I do think there's a romantic element to it, but in terms of her capacity of what it is that she thinks she's able to provide to you is friendship. Even though, like I said, I think there's a romantic aspect to this, that's not what she feels available to offer to you. That's not the effort that she can provide to the connection. She can provide companionship, she can provide company, she can provide friendship, but she doesn't necessarily feel in a place where she can provide that. She just doesn't feel like she can just jump in. You have like a spot next to you of like who you want in your life and like what you want your life to look like, and your partner, this idea of who your partner is, and she feels like she's not ready to jump into that spot next to you to be those things alongside of you. um you know, I feel like actually validating what I thought is that it's not about you. This is more so about her and where she is at personally. Because I think that she might even like admire you or be inspired by you as well. She just doesn't feel like she's as focused on this connection as possible. We also have the Knight of, or not as focused on the connection as possible, but as focused on the connection as you are. And we also have the Knight of Swords, and this indicates that she has kind of like a flighty personality when she approaches this connection. So like she might be hot and cold with you, like you might hear from her and talk to her for a little bit and then suddenly she disappears. Like this is a very flight in a fight or flight energy, that she's like, you know, sometimes I run, Like the Britney Spears song. Sometimes I run, sometimes I'm hide, sometimes I'm scared of you. But I think deep down she does want love at some point. I just feel like she's maybe in a position where it's just not for her at this time. Um, but she speaks very highly of you. I think to you and behind your back, and if you ever come up in conversation, it's always very positive, very good things. Um, and I think, like, there's a level of appreciation for you, for her. So yeah, that's what I've got, Kaiser. That is what I've got. Okay, so we are gonna do a last call for readings. um if anybody else wants to donate before I sign off over here on YouTube.